Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Inspo and Chill. I say like this is a very common thing. This is my second one, but it is a good start this time because we have both myself and the actual screen this time. Before I did it, I didn't have a screen, just me talking. So today, as you can see by the title, is all about mobile. It's Mobbin Mobile Mondays, as they do a great newsletter to entice me to do a video on Mondays about mobile stuff, I guess. Um, we're gonna look at four apps today. We'll try and keep it to about half an hour. Um, and yeah, I'm just gonna chill. Just go and chill on my sofa right now. I'm lucky enough to be in Cape Town, which is very, very nice, very sunny compared to the usual UK London weather I am in. Yeah, let's jump into it. And actually, just to give some more chill vibe, let's get some music going. Using a new platform to stream today, so I don't know what song to use. Let's go with that. Some soft hip hop. Oh, okay. So yeah, Mobile Mondays. We've got four apps for you today. Let's have a quick look at them and let's make it full screen because you don't care about me. So today we have BMW, a car app. Very interesting transport, isn't it? Especially when it's a nice brand, nice car. Some may disagree, but we're looking at that. We're also looking at NBA basketball highlights and stats. I have never seen anything like this, I think. I've never actually looked at any kind of basketball app. Um, I do like basketball, but I've only played it a handful of times and I don't really watch it. So that'd be interesting. And then coming away from some action stuff, we have Unfold, which is a stories and reels maker app. Oh, I didn't know it was that. Maybe this could help me turn this video into some reels and stories afterwards. And lastly, we have the Weather Channel. Excited, very excited. Right, let's get into it, and let's just have my comments open just in case anyone's actually watching this live. Highly unlikely. You're probably watching a replay, working, commuting, or just playing it because you're trying to support me and you know me. Who knows? Either way, I'll keep the comments open just in case. I'll make the screen a bit smaller. Cool. Okay, so the way I do this with Mobbin, we just go through the highlights first. Mobbin essentially have a collection of screens. You can see here in the top left, they've got like a highlight. And so they've got a collection of highlight screens that I guess for them summarize the app, and they've got all screens down below. They have 233 screens in total for BMW. Healthy number. And of course, we're looking at iOS, not Android, because no comment. So this is a loading screen for BMW. I guess it's cool. It's nice to splash screen. Sorry, that technical term. Yes, it's splash screen. Pretty good. It's always a good place to put in some brand identity, a little bit of flair. Someone like myself that's not always in mature companies. Don't know if you have time for this or something elaborate, but this actually looks quite straightforward. I wonder if the actual app does have some animation, but yeah, let's keep it moving. Welcome screen. And here's where you start to see the unfair advantage for an app and a brand like BMW where you have cars, because when you've got cars, you can put them in certain positions and frame them in a certain way that you can make the screen look nice. And they've done that here. They've got different angles for the cars. Everything else pretty standard. They've got quite a, I'm not going to say it's not a corporate font, but it's a flat font. I'm not really a font guy, so I don't know how to actually explain fonts, but it's not as cursive as I thought maybe it might be for BMW with all the curves. But yeah. What do we have here? This is very cool. Overlapping text with the car. And I want to pause here because this is giving me good inspo to remind me. I mean, let's say like the the car is obviously flashy and a nice object, but whatever app you're designing, you can actually use that. If you do Magic Eraser, use some AI app to remove the background, you can create this cool effect. So yeah, reminder to yourself that you can do things like this. They are some of the delighters and nice to have, so maybe not do them in your own time, in the 9 to 5, kind of like me with this after work. So yeah, something to bear in mind, but I do like that. Um, oh, we've got our first comment. This is crazy, wild, everyone. Everyone paying attention. Let's show it on screen here from Karina Patel. Anyone know who that is? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Much love for Karina. And she says a little bit of personalization like my BMW. Interesting. Are you talking about the current screen I'm on? It is access to your BMW. This here. I think you mentioned that. Was it something on the screen before? Welcome to my BMW. Yes, and actually, that's kind of throughout the app. You've got welcome to my BMW. You've got add your BMW. My BMW has a lot of that, isn't it? Which is a great point, Karina, because it's making you feel like it's not just personal, it's yours. So that is a great inspo point around copy. I wanna make a point about that. Actually, copy is a very easy way to do personalization that's quite overlooked. But yeah, it's a great point, Karina, on yeah the first screen my BMW, but also they keep saying it on your BMW as well. Let's keep going. Okay, so now we're just showing off the car here. We've got the rear, and yeah, we're just showing off. Get some. They're also using it to good effect. Any kind of, if you're in e-commerce and you've got any kind of product, you can still do this. Like obviously the car is a bit different, but you can still have your product in here, have some cool things coming out the top right, top left. So yeah, obviously they're using that pretty good. Um, Interesting, they have gone for capitalized letters in their headings. Personally, it's a mixed bag. It can be good, can be not. But I guess this should tie into the overall brand. So it's not a critique. It's not a critique. Let's keep going. This is inspo. This is inspo. Let's keep moving. Anything here? We've got a little gradient here to mix it up rather than having all white background. Some may like it, some don't. But good to have it in mind as some inspo. Um, okay, yeah. Here's where I'm using the cars again for good effect. Got the car coming in from the side and the titles. Another really good example, like the Inspo did last week, where some of the menus started appearing in grids rather than lists. And to make it a grid, you had to give it a bit of a weird structure. Like in this structure here is a bit weird, where you've got title on the name of the car on the left, CT in the top right, you've got the car in the bottom right, and then you've got some, I'm gonna say awkward white space because typically you'd want to fill that. But I'm seeing this trend more and more where we're going for things, even though there's a little bit of awkward space there, it helps it look better. Because imagine having this in the list, the car, where's the car going to fit in the list? It's not going to be as nice as it. So I like this. Again, any kind of e-com product, you can do the same thing. So Inspo. All very clever here with this car charger like that. And here I think I prefer this screen here where they've really blended the gray background into the white. So you start from gray at the top all the way down to white. We compare that to this screen and come back. So they've started at the white at the top and then got into gray and then back to white. This is not bad, but this is much better. This is much better. And again, they've gone for the overlapping color of the text. Maybe very subtly here, but yeah, very cool. Maybe some inspo for this progress bar. Um, Again, I think BMW have this kind of slanted. I know in their like cars they've got the slanted lines on the bottom of their car, so that is very much their brand. But they've got a slanted progress bar here, which yeah, pretty cool, pretty different. These icons are funny. Okay, I don't actually drive. I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't even drive, so these icons weren't obvious to me at the beginning, but it does make sense now. This is obviously lights, horn, fan. Okay, yeah, and lock unlocks. This is fine. This is fine. I don't drive. I don't drive. I don't. I shouldn't say it. I don't drive so many times because the respect keeps going down further and further. But anyway, we move. Um, this is nice. A lot of imagery here. Imagery under the button as well. It's a cool effect. Yeah, so I'm going to take from that one really. And this is a bit different. We haven't had lots of color. Be thinking about the app so far. It's been a lot of grays, neutrals, white. They do have their blue color for accent, but now suddenly we have this bright blue. Um, yeah. Cool progress bar in the sense that it's a radial one now. They've got the slant here, but they've got this kind of gradient inside of the progress bar, which I think is quite nice. So if you want to jazz it up, I like that idea. I'll be stealing that. If you're not looking, look at this one now. Quite common for them to have radial progress bars. Add a gradient in there. It looks nice. Done. What we got here? Some kind of timeline. Yeah, yeah. Simples. And then we've got a map showing you navigation, I'm assuming. Let's just jump back out. Are we at the end of the highlights or are we still okay? No, we've still got a few more highlights to go. Cool. Okay, so this map one here. What's this? It's just are we using this instead of Google Maps or Apple Maps? Because that's brave. That's brave. I mean, I guess some people might do that, but that is brave. Wait, destination send. You can start guidance for the entire trip in your vehicle if you're logged in. Okay, I don't know if this is the kind of thing where you can send the car by itself. I don't drive, so I don't know what's happening in this futuristic car world. But I guess even if it's not, you're preloading the destination side of the car, which seems pretty cool. Um, Maybe yeah, more on the UX side here is a good point. Thinking this is a good reminder to myself as well, good inspo to think through the entire journey. Like you might think of this app as only being used when you're in the car or only being used to buy a car, but actually here they're doing it in the small offline gaps of when you're. I'm assuming this is like not planning a trip. I could be completely wrong, but if it's not, let's go over it anyway. I'm assuming this is when you are about to go to your car, but you're already preparing the trip from inside your house. That's the use case I'm going through here, and you can pop it in. Let's go with that. But yeah, it's great the fact that you can do these things away from the car. So trying to apply this to your own product. Inspo for me, I'm taking. How can you apply the offline journeys? Just basically do another experience map of their offline activities, and then you'll find some good moments you can actually help them. Yeah, we have all servers, and again, you've gone from the blue back to the black style now, so they really mix up the colors. Um, yeah, anything interesting here? Probably just key thing is this. We've got a little blur glass effect on the right arrow. That's quite cool. Um, yeah, and that's it. This is the last one here. This is the last one here. Yeah, it's a profile screen. Given everything else we've seen, this profile screen actually looks a bit bland. I'm surprised. Like you've got this is a first of all, I will say this is a nice inspo for like doing a profile card because all you have is an avatar image and a name. It's quite simple, right? Quite standard. But simply by adding a rectangle behind it, you're giving it a bit of volume, giving it a bit of gravitas. So this is cool, the rectangle. However, the this kind of blue gradient really doesn't do much, and yeah, I feel that actually it's a bit bland. So they could do more here, but giving you a way to try themes. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a decent start with some highlights. Um, as I come through here, is there anything of note pointing out? I think we're going to move on because we're already at 40 minutes. Took quite a long time going through that, but the rest of the app looks, yeah, quite. They use some good color here and more of the vehicles, etc. Decent. Yeah, let's keep moving. NBA sports, basketball highlights and stats. Um, Loading screen, splash screen. Um, Quite simple. I say simple. They probably have some animation, but they're not capturing it on Mobbin. That is probably the one thing Mobbin could do because there are other alternatives to Mobbin that do give you some like animated or videos. So I'll be mixing it up through the series. I'll give some other alternatives that can do this kind of stuff. But yeah, no splash animate splash screen here, but I'm sure it's animated. Um, okay, so interesting. Yeah, okay, in sports we're gonna have lots of different ways to show different types of information. So we've got imagine what the latest news of what's happening in NBA and potentially if you follow a particular sports team, it might be geared towards that. Though you also have a following here, so you have a following. So this is kind of reminding me of social media esque because you're going to have similar things where you have news feeds. So I'm going to pause here as a good inspo point. If you're not focusing, focus. This is a great example of finding parallel apps that are doing adjacent um, they're adjacent to you because they are having similar workflow or similar user problems, but it could be a very different field. So social media, your TikToks, Instagram as examples, some high profile ones, they actually have a lot of overlap with now this MBA because you're delivering similar content. So you're going to have, perhaps the top in different ways of similar content. So again, are you thinking about um, your competitors, your adjacent competitors, and a great, easy hack or quick tip to get there is use ChatGPT or call Perplexity. Alternatives are available. Um, and ask them. Don't ask them like, what are some similar apps or adjacent apps to the NBA sports? That's obviously I mean, they might be able to give you some good answers there, but a different way would be to say, give me some similar apps where you have to present lots of news content or content, and it has several different tabs. It has different formats presenting it. You can go a bit creative with how you describe it, and you'll be very surprised by the answer. I would actually do it live now. It could be a good one to do, but we've got to get through these others. Maybe another video. But yeah, good inspo for point here for being parallel and adjacent apps. In terms of this page, you've got stories, nothing here. They've got ads here. Ugh. Icons are cool. They're cool icons. Keep it moving. We're on the games tab here. Calendar again, it's quite interesting. We probably have this kind of similar calendar for like booking apps, for a calendar app itself. Um, Yeah, like booking doctor's appointments, booking spa and beauty appointments. What else would you have a calendar? GPT, Perplexity, Claude, they can all tell you as well. But yeah, this one here is quite straightforward, very simple. But this is probably kind of an adopted method, I think, now for that. And yeah, anything else here? Not really. I'm going to keep it moving. I thought, not a whole heap here. Okay, we've got interesting. Finally got some visuals because they can do that. They are sports. They've got sports logos. Um, what I think they've done here that is a bit different is using some letters in the background because they didn't actually need to do that. They've got enough color and logo to separate these two teams. And showing the teams. This is obviously Miami Heat. I don't know which this one is. But yeah, but they are using some of the letters, like, I guess, as an abbreviation for the tours. Yeah, it's like player tour. So it's quite cool, adding some more value. So again, think inspo. Can you use any of the characteristics of what you're presenting to add some extra jazz, flair, etc. here? So they're using the name here, abbreviation. So some good inspo there. Um, Grid way of presenting scores, yeah. Nothing too crazy. Tabs, progress bar. I'm not a huge fan of all these numbers here, but they have a lot to get in. So if they need to get it in, I guess. Um, but I guess what I am a fan of and I like here, Inspo again, is this grid. I'm saying this could have been done in a list view, right? So you could have had this grid, this quadrant here could have been the full row, and you could have had four, like one row for field goals, one row for 3 pointers, etc. And you have a lot more space for this progress bar. But they've gone from the grid view to pack more in. And also, I guess to pack more in because you're probably not necessarily looking to analyze them one by one. So in this case, I'm not a fan of this being compact here, but I see why they've done it. We're getting more information in, and it's still decent. So yeah, good inspo there. If you're not looking, you haven't looked, grid. I want to say grid a lot. I think seems to be trending. Obviously, bento grids came in like last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was, but I'm seeing more actual grids in products. Not much on this screen. Um, Progress tournaments. This is interesting in terms of a UX challenge where you've got tabs on tabs. You have this top level tabs here, and then you have a second level of tabs here with quarterfinals, semifinals, championship. I don't know if I love the way they've done the tabs, but I do think that they've done it. They've actually achieved it having multiple tabs. It's not like, oh, I think that is too much. So this could be good inspiration with a different way to do tabs. You can have it underlined and then have it as actual buttons there. Um, oh, this is crazy. We've had a second comment come in this stream, and this time it is a complete total stranger. I realized I haven't actually removed Prina's comment on this. Well done, Prina, for making a comment all the way throughout the stream. But let's hear it now. And we have Wana. Wana Prajala is actually on screen now for the comments saying good information hierarchy. If you are still listening, Wana, I think there might be a little bit of a lag. Can you tell me which screen you're referring to? Is it the screen I'm currently on, or was it the one before? Because the last time when Prina mentioned it was the one before. Is it maybe back here with the grids, the functioning grids, or was it this screen that was on? Maybe whilst I'm still talking, you can let me know, and I can follow up on that to see if I agree or disagree with your with the information hierarchy. Um, but yeah, talking about tabs here, tabs on tabs, mark it down for this minster there. And now we're into the blog page. Okay, are we at the end of the highlights here? I feel like we're getting to the end of highlights, or am I just getting bored? I'm getting bored because we're not at the end of the highlights. Um, okay, I just got the delayed notification from one at previous screen. Yes. Okay, so I assume something about this one here then. So yeah, I agree. Good information hierarchy here. You've got a lot going on this screen. They've done a good job of actually breaking it down, which is probably a good point I've missed as well. Because if you break the screen down, there is really a lot. You've got scores here at the top, got another action bar, you've got tabs, you've got strong titles for sections, you've then got section information in a different way. And then you've got another section header, and then you've got the grid here. So that's a great point. If you're not looking back at the screen, and I mentioned before, but one really great point about the whole screen now, information hierarchy, it's looking good. So a good way to separate a lot of information on screen. I'm going to move on from the NBA app. I think everyone's kind of done with this. By everyone, I mean me. So let's keep going. Unfold. Now, this could be interesting. And just as we move on to Unfold, let me remove Lana's comment so that it's not on show for the whole time. Story and Reels Maker. So this is for content creators like myself. I wouldn't call myself that just yet. Maybe when I've done 10 of these. But yes, people that are creating content, this is good because you're really driving actions in an app there. So any app that's like measuring, monitoring their actions, they're trying to drive actions they're creating. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff here, I'm assuming. But let's jump in. Splash screen again, not animated. I'm gonna stop showing you splash screen because there's no animation. So what do we have here on this studio screen? I mean, first off, I love this translucent navigation tab bar at the bottom. Very mindful, very demure. Plus points for that. So if you've got any kind of light or dark theme that is quite strong, they don't have a strong color here, so it is more that minimalistic vibe. I'd highly recommend this. This is just puts it level above. They've got templates here. I like this template. I can't see the other templates, but they've got some overlapping imagery, should we say, here on this style. It's quite cool. Again, if you're going for minimalist vibes, this reminds me of the app that I did last week. What was it? Mid Journey. Mid Journey were great. If you're looking on the web app, Mid Journey is great and minimalist. This is pretty good too, where you've got this white pills and they've got a subtle background behind them, separate them. I like the pills are pretty big as well. Some pills can be small. In fact, I've designed pills recently that are a bit smaller. I might have to go and change this and make them bigger. Although actually no, let's think about the context here. I think there's a lot less, a lot fewer than my words here. There is not as much information on the rest of the page as compared to the page I was designing. So I'm gonna let myself off. But I like the fact that these pills or chips are quite nice and big. Um, keep it moving. What are we doing here? Is this meant to be the plus button? I assume probably the plus button. Um, Jaws. Yeah, I mean, if you're designing iOS and Android apps and you're not using Jaws, you're probably about 5 years behind. Um, I use Draws, but I still feel like I'm not the best at Draws because I feel like Draws keep evolving and they're getting nicer and nicer. This one here, I like it. It's pretty cool, pretty simple. And maybe this list, these buttons here is quite interesting. Normally you have actual buttons for this, but they've gone again, like because they're minimalist vibes, they've just gone for like you would call it a row, but it is a button. So it's quite nice there again if we're going for the minimalistic vibe. Nice little horizontal scrolling here, pretty good. Yeah, nice layout of this drawer here. Got a lot in, but it's still quite nice. Here's another example of tabs on tabs. You've got a set of tabs in here, the bottom, a set of tabs here above. Um, it's becoming more and more common that you need to have multiple sets of tabs, and I think it's good that there's more examples of this because whenever I have the tabs on tabs, I panic. I'm like, ah, you can't have tabs on tabs, but if you do it well, you can. But another good drawer here, tab on tabs, just keep it moving. Yeah, the imagery is really doing a lot of the talking here. Horizontal action bar, good here. Header, simple. I guess it's the undo and redo. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, not much to say here. Good stuff. Another page. What's this? Templates page. Okay, so they've got a lot of. This is kind of reminds me of another feed as well. You've got a lot to show here because you're having. Well, you've got three different, well, two different types, I guess, of information here. There's kind of square type and then the portrait type. Um, This is good if you need to have lots of different content on here and you want to mix up how it's displayed, because I imagine this might scroll for a while. Reminds me of Spotify. Spotify have obviously lots of different songs, albums, discover playlists they want to show you. Not all of them, but some of them have different formats, different styles. Because if you scroll through everything and it's in the same format, you're going to get bored because our attention span as the human species has evolved it's quite small now. So yeah, I like good inspo here. If you're not looking, look. This can be applied to many things, not just apps. But if you're going to have lots of information on the screen, lots of media, make sure you're varying up the format. Square, portrait, scrolling, expanding, whatever you want to do. Keep it moving. Okay, this is a overlay menu on something. Uh, Not much to say here. I don't know if I actually we listen, we don't judge. I was going to say I don't like. We listen, we don't judge. What I was going to say or comment on is rather this overlay pop up action menu. Typically, you'd have something a bit more full screen, or I think maybe this would be grouped together and then you had divider lines. This is different because they're not grouped together, and they don't have a background rather, but you still have them quite narrow. Interesting. Maybe it is more minimalistic vibes. Um, we listen, we don't judge. What do we have here? Projects, nice and simple. Again, they're using this like gray shadow behind, which is cool for the minimalist vibes. Um, Another example of not having like super big, strong buttons. So they've got really small buttons here, and minimalist divider lines. Good inspo if you're trying to keep it low key, because it would be a bit awkward to have like a very big primary call to action for all of these, because there's not much happening here. So you like it. You like it. Good inspo for small empty state buttons, and not just empty state, even just generally. I guess what is this? Good inspo, if you're not looking, good inspo when you have lots of calls to actions on a page. Vary up your button size. Don't just use your big primary button because it can make people cry. You can also go to secondary style as well, but this might be a better option to go to just an icon button here and keep it nice and compact. And we must be getting to the end of the highlight screen, or again, am I just getting bored? Okay, we're almost there. We've got a plan connect your account screen. Yeah, yeah, imagery is pretty good. They're mixing it up. Okay. This is your profile. Don't like this from a visual standpoint, but this is a great product idea, or UX idea is to try and show people what they're gonna get to. So I guess in this thing, we're creating their profile when you're giving them like a live preview, live demonstration. So whenever you can, I'd link this to a principle of like giving real-time feedback. So you might have to abstract yourself here to compare it to your product, but real-time feedback is a good reminder here. This is what this inspo is: real-time feedback. Real-time feedback. It's hard enough, I think, to give feedback normally in your product. If you can achieve real-time feedback, you're gonna really excite the user. They get that low key dopamine. So real-time feedback. If you're not watching, you don't watch one, but listen. Real-time feedback. I'm trying that. I'm trying that. Let's go. Keep moving. This is the last screen. Analytics. Another set of tabs and some views. Yeah, I'd probably like to improve this card here. We listen, we don't judge, we're not here to critique. So we might just leave it there for that. I think that's it. That is it. Having a quick scroll here, I do have a lot of other very colorful, interesting pages. So I'm not going to go into all of this, but if you do want to have a lot of, let me say, graphical inspiration, and you could apply this graphical inspiration to your very simple SaaS utility app, web app, whatever it is, because this is quite creative what they're doing here, and you can just steal a little bit of it. Maybe this the way they're doing the imagery, the type of graphics, whatever it is, illustrations. You can get inspiration from these more like consumer-facing heavy apps and take it to your B2B and utility apps. So yeah, if you're doing a B2B utility app, this is going to inspire. If you're doing a consumer app, could inspire to compare it again because they've got a lot of good stuff in. Cool. Last one. The weather. Who doesn't love the weather? It is actually the world's most popular small talk conversation topic. And I just made that up, but it's probably true. Probably true. So let's improve on that small talk now because you can be like, have you ever seen the Weather Channel app? Have you? It's actually pretty good. I'm saying that because I'm hoping it's going to be good, but let's see. Um, Splash screen. I'm going to ignore it this time. Let's jump into this. This is your home screen. It does be pretty good, but I'm already not loving the text is a little bit hard to read. Like if I'm coming to read this, I open the screen and the first thing I want to see is the temperature. It's giving, do you really want me to see the temperature? Which is a long kind of giving. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. I do like the backgrounds, gives some vibrancy, and this is a good representation of what it's like today. But can we reduce the opacity a bit? But we listen, we don't judge. We're not here to critique. Um, I like the rounded effect. This is always a nice way to add some flair, add some differentiation in your app. We've got some rain here. This is quite good. It's very simple, but I understand this really well. And I say that because some weather apps, I'm always confused about what the rain thing is telling me. Whereas this one here, you've got light rain, heavy rain, and it's got a vertical progress bar, which is a bar chart. This wasn't a vertical progress bar. But you've got a bar chart. So this is quite a nice way of redefining something which typically is done bad elsewhere, in my opinion. But yeah, cool. Let's move on. They've got a very beigey theme here, light beige, dark beige cards. Um, Pack a lot of information in. I wouldn't say it's my favorite with this style, but it is still a good way to pack some information in. So inspiration when you've got a lot of information to show on a page. You do have like the temperature and the time at the top, precipitation for the rain, six other stats here, one with a progress bar, then you've got some other horizontal scroll. There's a lot happening on this page, and I'll give credit to the fact that I think it's just about manageable, which is good considering how much there is. So it's good inspiration for showing a lot on a page. Having said that, I might add some space on the inside of here. I don't know. I might do a few things here, but it's definitely a good reference point. Um, Here we've got a lot more space. There's a lot more white space here. Really good use of imagery at the top. And your let's think product for a second here because we've got trips in the weather channel. Why do I have trips in the weather channel? Where am I here? Where? How have I got here? What's this flow? Adding an airport tracker. Interesting. And so we're tracking whether we're going to be able to take off the weather. That's quite good, I think. I think. Yeah, I don't know too much. I'll have to dig into it, which is not what we're doing now. But I think this is good if you're a frequent traveler and you want to know what the weather's like at the airport. You put in your trip, and then you can uh, monitor that, which I think makes sense. Like on the weather app, I when I'm doing trips, I do put in the weather of to put in the weather of the country I'm going to. So what? Yeah, what's happening here? Trips, tracked airports. Okay, because this is the flow of adding an airport tracker, but you could also do trips as well. I was gonna say you could do both, where you could have the airport, like the airport where you're taking off, what that temperature is there. Plus, you have a temperature of where you're going, that country as well. If you could have both of those, like, if I could combine these two, that could be really good, really powerful. But again, we listen, we don't judge. Um, oh, when we come back, one last thing that was nice here: popular airports. This is good. This is fun. Making sure you have popular, most used, frequent. If you can get in some of the data around what other users are doing, this not only obviously makes your app look used, etc., but it gives people feedback. People want to be kept as part of the community, as part of a wider population. That's why the human race exists. We're going deep now. So let's get into that deep psychological aspect and use that. So popularity, frequency, trending, all that kind of stuff. You can have this in a variety of apps as well. So Inspo here, don't think you can only have this in like content, right? This is good here for like popular airports. So think, can you have that community aspect, even if it's in a background, low key kind of way? Um, Here we have, I assume we're searching for something. What are we doing? We are changing location. We are deleting location. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So doing something, and we've got our places. Yeah, cards. Okay. Not really the font. Um, the contrast on these, but we listen. We don't judge. Uh, the cards are cool with other list view there as well, mixing it up. So yeah, not too bad. This hurts me. I don't like seeing all this text in the same way. Ow. Um, yeah, I don't worry much about this page. Let's skip over that. And this page is much better. Um, the purple strong, radio progress bar, separate information. Yeah, nice. Good way to separate information when you have tabs, a title, and then a card with the color. We'll leave it there, drop down on top as well. Yeah. How close are we to the highlights? Oh, there were quite a lot of highlights in this Weather Channel app. Thrilling. Um, yeah, not much here. You want to comment on radar? A lot of information here. Not the biggest fan. A bit small. Colors. I don't know how well the colors are. Colors are. You've done strong grey here. You haven't done great much. What else? This is pretty good visualization. And they've got the toggles here, which is quite cool. The tactile toggle, which are a bit nicer. I think this is the last screen. One for the dark theme here in the dark background here in the winter tab. I'm not sure what this is, but this is cool. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Oh, there's one must be notifications. Okay, you've got the curved. Yeah, they've got this curve going right through the app, which I think is a nice small UI element that you can get used to, add some personality. I mentioned before. It's good. You've got a title here, back there. Yeah, I like that. Notification quite simple. Latest manage. You can manage them both in the same place as you view it. That's quite nice. Sometimes you have to like dig around for managing notifications. Whereas if you can manage it in the same place where you're viewing it, that's good. So maybe a broader point here is making sure the contextual journeys are as close together as possible. Which I think is good here. A good example of notifications that can apply to any app that have notifications. And I think we actually will leave it there. There is actually a bunch more screens with a bit more variation on here, which you can delve into. But they don't look half bad. But yes, that is the Weather Channel. Cool. Okay. I think we are done there. Four apps, a little bit over half an hour. We're approaching maybe the 45-minute mark, but it takes what it takes. Can I wrap up with any big takeaways from some of the apps here? I think probably the takeaway from the BMW, I would say, is um, don't underestimate what you can do with product imagery. So if you're on e-commerce here, just because it's not a car, you can still do some cool things with your product. Do not sleep on your product imagery, overlapping, overlaying, etc. They do it very well. And also some cool grey links as well. NBA, any big takeaways here? There were some small ones, but if I'm honest, I'm not going to have a big takeaway here. Oh, no, of course, I'm wrong. Information hierarchy here. This was a good one. Um, yeah, here's an example. We're having a lot on a page. So sports apps, maybe if you're in finance apps, and again, financial apps uh, are notorious for being terribly dense with information. I think you can make it a bit more spacious, like this here. This is a good mix. So this is pretty good. So I like that there. Other than that, not much. I'm afraid this time. Another time I might find some more things, but not this time. Unfold, Reels, and Story Maker. Uh, Another good example of a minimalist design. We had brain be braining. We had Mid Journey last week on the web app. This week it's Unfold, great minimalist designs, and also some good inspiration for the non-minimalist stuff, the graphics, the vibrant colors, etc. So yeah, that's probably a strong visual inspiration there. Unfold, and last but not least, the weather, thrilling topic. But they've done a decent job, I think. The UI, the color theme that goes throughout, maybe not the highlight screen to be shown, but you can see more in some of the other examples. Like it's giving a very warm vibe to it. This screen's much better. What? Where did we see this screen? What is this? See, yeah, the 8 is in partly cloud. I can see that so much better than the other one. I'll just make them all like this. But yeah, there's some good stuff in here. I think Fantasy Feed, yeah, I think there'll be a lot of different stuff here because they've got different types of activities, not just the weather, but the trips, tracking airports. So I'll be more interested on the UX side, I'd say, here for my channel, to do some complex stuff. And they're still packing a lot of stuff in one place. Last thing I'll say that this has lots of good visualizations, infographics. Infographics is the right word, you know what I mean? Like this kind of visual stuff. Cool. Well, 45 minutes, that's it. We will end on a excellent comment from Pascal. Thank you for watching, everyone that's watching. And Pascal says, I should have a Twitch channel. You know what? I think you're right, Pascal. I think you're right. Will I do it? Probably not. We'll keep doing these on LinkedIn and YouTube and see how we go. But maybe if you say it a second time on another stream, I'll do it. How about that? But anyway, it's been fun. It's been Monday, Mobbin Mobile. Don't know if I'll do it again, but hopefully you joined in and got some inspo. See you in the next one. Awkward silence whilst I press